Hey everyone, welcome to Ajay Discusses Movies, a show in which I discuss movies both old and new. Today I'm discussing a new movie that just dropped in the theaters this past week, and that movie is titled 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, directed by Nia DaCosta. This film is the fourth installment within the 28 Something Later franchise that was first created by Alex Garland and Danny Boyle, with Nia DaCosta being the first filmmaker out of that duo to make a film within the franchise. The film stars Ray Fiennes as Dr. Kelson as he tries to navigate the alphas and what makes them tick, as well as trying to create possible remedies to make sure that they go back to normal, as well as a man or a boy named Spike, played by Alfie Williams, as he tries to navigate his role within the Jimmies and within the Fingers Gang that is run by Jack O'Connell. So, overall thoughts on this movie? I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a fun film. It's a dark comedy. It's a darkly comedic film. If that's what you're expecting, then you'll enjoy it. But this is definitely a fun film to watch. And honestly, I would probably say that this is a better film than its predecessor, 28 Years Later. Because for me, it felt as if it knew its tone. And it felt as if it knew what it was trying to go for with its dark humor. So, in my opinion, I would say that this is better than 28 Years Later. Let me just get right into the positives. I thought the performances were amazing in this film. Jack O'Connell plays the villain rather well. There's no part of him that you really want to support, but for some reason you just keep on watching him because you realize that the madness can only get worse from here. And he just does an amazing job, not just in Sinners, but also in this film as well, in terms of documenting that character to the best of his extent. Alfie Williams also did really well in this film. The Jimmies, the rest of the Jimmies that were in this film, that were essentially cronies to Jack O'Connell, also did really well. But Ray Fiennes, I think, really stole the show and really took the cake in this film. He understood the tone of this movie. He understood the hilarity of this movie, but also the horror that unravels in this movie. And the way that he's able to just play into this crazy character, not just through the various needle drops that are in this film. There are plenty of needle drops. We'll get into that sooner than later. But the way that he's able to play off with Nia DaCosta and Alex Garland's script and create something that is so different and so out of the ordinary for a film of this nature, I think really shows the not just the gravitas of his acting, but just how complex he is with his decisions and how deliberate he is with the choices that he makes on screen. Also, we mentioned the soundtrack. I mean, there are various needle drops in this movie that are just amazing. There's a needle drop of Everything in Its Right Place by Radiohead, which when that record dropped in the movie, I was literally like scratching my head being like, this is crazy. The fact that I'm listening to this song in a post-apocalyptic dark comedy movie to hear that song out of all the songs being played. There are several Duran Duran songs that are played in this film. Girls on Film is definitely a great track. I highly implore you guys to check that out as well. And not just the needle drops, but just the soundtrack itself was amazing. Hildur Guðnadóttir, I think her name is. I'm butchering her name. I'm so sorry, but I felt as if she was able to really compose certain pieces in this film in terms of the soundtrack that really elevated certain scenes in this film. The aspect ratio in this film is 239:1, which is different than its predecessors. I think this is the only film within the 28 Something Later franchise that has a 239:1 aspect ratio, and it definitely lets you be fully invested in the film when you see an aspect ratio of that kind within the 28 Something Later franchise. So we mentioned the soundtrack, we mentioned the characters. The pacing was amazing. Right now, the runtime is around an hour and 50 minutes. It doesn't feel like that. There was only one time in this entire film I was checking my phone, and it was just to see whether I got any messages on it, which, spoiler alert, I didn't. That's the only spoiler alert you'll get in this review. So yeah, the pacing was amazing, the soundtrack, the performances. I also think there are moments in this film that are just absolutely funny. Would I say that there are blemishes to this film? Absolutely. I mean, no film is perfect. There are certain blemishes in this film, and this is maybe a nitpick. I'm not so sure, but there are times in this film where it's so darkly comedic, where when there are moments of like pure horror, it's hard to snap back into it and change your perspective on the film, or to sort of be afraid of what's happening on screen. Which I know that's not what the director or what the people behind the scenes wanted you to feel in those moments. There's this moment in which the Jimmies take hostage of some people, and a lot of people in the theater, especially in my screening, definitely were scared of what was happening. I wasn't, because it didn't necessarily set up for me to feel that way. So while it's certainly a blemish on the film, it didn't really affect my overall enjoyment of watching the movie. I still think you can enjoy the film, despite the film not being aware of how the horror scenes may come out as dark humor scenes. But yeah, in terms of the negatives, it's more about my overall theater experience while watching this film, as opposed to the film itself. There are moments in this film which were downright hilarious. I mean, Ray Fiennes is dancing a lot in this movie, and at no point did I hear people laugh or people smile. Not that I'm looking at other people if they're smiling, but at no point did it get a reaction out of the audience. And there were several walkouts in this movie as well, which may come as a surprise to some, but I mean, listen, it's a 28 years later film. You should expect gratuitousness to this level. You should expect shock humor to this level. And it just felt as if those people didn't anticipate that happening, which, why are you watching a 28 years later film if you're not anticipating that to happen? I think in my theater there were about like 7 to 8 walkouts, and that's putting it lightly. I mean, mostly it was like people over the age of 70, which I understand, which if that was the case, then why aren't you watching Is This Thing On? Or other films that may encompass the sort of older side of things, Nuremberg. But that's just what was happening. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely gratuitous in a lot of and its fullest form, and that's not a knock on the film, that's just what it is. And yes, it's darkly comedic. But if you're going in this film expecting Is This the End by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, you're sorely mistaken as well.
Yeah, let me see.
It's real. It's heavy.
Let me see. I got.
God, come on, guys! You could kill.
Careful.
Bang,
No.
bang.
Jesus! Please put it down.
Fuck. Bang, bang, bang. You're dead.
You're fucking
Pow,
happy.
pow, pow.
Stop, guys! Stop fucking with the gun.
Jesus.
Pow, pow.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. I'll just kill myself.
No, don't do that.
Jesus.
Oh, no.
Jonah,
I
give it back.
gotta end it.
Don't do that. Jonah.
I'm so.
Oh.
So this is a fun film, and I'm not just saying that because it's a January release. I would say that if it was released anytime during the calendar year. This is a fun film. This is a good film. Definitely go watch it. It's going to be interesting to see what the last installment in the franchise will be. I know there's this one character in the end that was a mainstay in the franchise that we sort of saw him in the end go with his daughter, and now they're going out hunting for alphas, and that's all fun and enjoyable. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But I do have trust within Nia DaCosta, within Alex Garland, within Danny Boyle, because they've proven that they can make good films. And for some reason, I feel as if this franchise, even though it makes its money back in the box office, is heavily slept on as a franchise. And I just think you should go watch it. So that's it for me in terms of the review, guys. Thank you so much for watching. The bookshop has been updated. I'll see you guys sooner than later, maybe next week or the week after, depending on the films that are coming out later this week. Maybe it might be a blast from the past, who knows? Maybe I'll have a guest, who knows? But that's it for me, and I'll see you guys soon.